So how do you buy a franchise with little or no money in 2023? There's different ways to go about it. It's going to be harder if you want to own 100% of something. If you don't have much money or any money to bring to the table, it's going to be tough to own 100% of the business. There are ways potentially to do crazy seller financing notes to acquire an existing franchise. That franchise seller, though, is probably going to be having major issues with the business, and they're just going to give it to you for free. So you're walking into a business that it's running hot. You have to stabilize the business. It's probably bleeding money. So there are some ways to own 100% of a business. However, if you're a first-time entrepreneur, maybe you're a really good operator, very good manager, you can look at investing very little money with a franchisee or a wealthy investor that wants a return on their capital, where you own 10%, own then 20%, 30%, and you own more equity in the business as the business performs well as drawing a salary from the business. And maybe after 5 years, you can buy out the financial investor, the pretty much silent investor, and that's your 100% owned franchise. So there's different ways to do it. You're going to have a lot more options from friends and family that could potentially write you a loan, or that could basically invest the equity and you invest equity over time. So if you know people in your network, that's going to be the easiest choice. And then there are some franchises that effectively offer partnerships. For $10,000, you can own the income, 50% of the income from a Chick-fil-A. Now, after 10 years, you don't get to benefit in the sell of the Chick-fil-A back to Chick-fil-A corporate. You're basically walk, but as a manager managing one Chick-fil-A or two Chick-fil-A's, you can expect over $300,000 in earnings a year operating that Chick-fil-A, and you committed $10,000 of capital for that business. So Chick-fil-A is very difficult to get in. If you're not already working at a Chick-fil-A, the chances of becoming a franchisee are less than 1 in 1,000. Then there are other franchises that offer a partnership option like Steak and Shake, also $10,000. Steak and Shake has a pretty similar structure to Chick-fil-A where you get 50% of the restaurant profits. But while Chick-fil-A is going like this and sales are growing, earnings are going up, units are opening, Steak and Shake's kind of more like going like this, where units are closing. It's just not the same type of franchise model as Chick-fil-A and brand. And then there's all sorts of creative financing ways with SBA loans. You're going to have to put at least 10% cash down for an SBA loan, but there might be ways to get that capital from someone in your network for the cash component, and you're signing off on the loan and you're effectively putting down very little capital into the deal, and you're leveraging other people's money and the bank's money to open or acquire a franchise. So opening a franchise with as little money as possible, it's better to partner with a rich guy that's able to fund the business for you, and you own more and more of the business over time with certain metrics being hit, as well as you could probably draw a salary and negotiate that in. So you're not totally sweating it like many of us business owners do, where there's months on end where you're not taking dividends. You could bake your cake and eat it too, having a lower percentage in the business, but you also get to draw the salary as the operating partner. There you have it. There's different ways, creative ways to own a franchise with very little money down or potentially zero.